Let me show you my countryside through these old headlights. We can take this road as far as you want to go. I'll show you how a country mile can take us all night. Feeling higher than a bull's tail up an old dirt road. I ain't gonna run or hide. We can let the fire burn wild. That's just my countryside.
Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to show you some of the family that we have in town staying here. We have Troy's dad and his dad's girlfriend Kathy, as well as Troy's brother, Uncle Mike, and we have Aunt Casey. So they're here visiting us, definitely helping us with some projects that we have. Y'all know that we've been working on the pasture prep fencing and just kind of prepping the land for the pasture to then grow in. So we're going to take you around, kind of show you some of the things that we've been working on and getting some more stuff done before they leave. They will be here, let's see, today's Saturday. They will be here until Monday, probably the day that this video goes out. So anyways, I wanted to show you around, introduce you to them. Not sure if they're all going to be in the video, but at least you'll get to kind of see and see some of the projects. So anyways, let's go.
What we're doing here is we're putting transmission wire on. And what you doing? Brother Mike.
Howdy.
Well, she ain't editing that.
Oh, that's going in. That is fully going in. 100%. Okay, so you guys saw them doing the wiring. That is the high tensile wire on the H brace. But anyways, we're gonna just show you what we have going on here and how some of these high tensile wires are installed. So you can see as I make my way over here that there is some grasses that are coming in. So one of the things that we've been doing is mowing on our pasture, which is really just cutting down the weeds and continuing to cut down the weeds and mow those weeds over so that the good grasses can come in. So that is one thing that is imperative. If you're clearing land, you want to, number one, we got a mulching mower, just because with the mulching mower, you can kind of go through manually and you can look for those big sticks and big rocks and pull those out into piles as you go through. And then you can have a crew, like the kids and the wife, go through and collect all of those sticks and rocks and put them into piles and use them in other places on the property as far as the rocks. So anyways, that is kind of how we've gotten to this stage where we're at. If you haven't watched those other videos, definitely go back and watch those. That will give you some clarity on some of the process that we have gone through on our 16 acres here in the Piedmont area of North Carolina. So one of the things that we've been doing since they've been here is we went through and installed all of the T-posts on the outer perimeter of the 2-acre pasture that we're going to be doing here. So we keep going back and forth between goats, sheep, or a cow, and at this point it really doesn't matter. What we're doing right now is just getting things prepped so that when we do solidify what our property really needs, that's going to be the determining factor, is really what do we need here? What does this soil need? What does the land, what is it growing that will be able to feed in part a livestock animal? So we have gone through and installed the T-posts on the outer perimeter here, and then we went through and got the rest of the supplies. Troy's dad is very generous and was able to get some of those supplies for us while he was here, and so we're able to go through and do the high tensile wiring and not just the T-post while they're here. So huge blessing. We're majorly thankful. Thank you to all of you, our family that has helped. So anyways, I appreciate you guys tuning in here. I'm gonna get some more footage here. They're just going through and doing all of the high tensile on these posts here. We do have a few more H braces that we need to get up. But on the ones that we are finished with, we are going through and putting the high tensile up on those. So we're gonna turn this around, show you a little bit more, and I'm gonna go back in and check on my bread.
All right, hi everyone. We are doing a line brace now instead of the corners. So in the line brace, you got to brace it going both directions to give it more stability. Same process as the corners, you know, one end to the other end, top to bottom, across. But we're going both ways on this one because it's a line brace instead of a corner brace. I did cut this one a couple feet too short. I just wasn't paying attention. So he's basically putting two pieces together and wrapping them. So as they pull, they'll get tighter and tighter as we tension it down. What do you want me to do?
Nothing. Do your thing.
And once we get these two pieces put together, we can pull it back to the brace or to the tensioner. And as we tension it, these will come together.
First.
You're not going to want a lot of tension right off the bat, right? Uh-oh.
Same process.
Go ahead, cut it.
Cut it. Possible.
Do what?
Nip your wire as close to the tightener or the ratchet as possible.
I'm just trying to pull. A little tighter. Be on this side while you turn that side.
Do that same thing on that side. Here, you want these ones?
Yeah, these ones. Now give me that one.
Okay. Couple twists that should hold.
I like the way that's sitting. There we go.
This up. Oh. If you just heard it, the whole post come together.
Yeah, you can hear the wood creaking.
And then, it's all right. And then what you do is you snug your staples up to the wire.
So go around the corner.
And then you just snug them. You don't drive them home, you just snug it like that.
Snug it. Don't drive it.
Don't seat it.
And then your X brace.
There we go.
So the two posts are set at about 8 foot on center. The crossed piece of wood is 8 feet to start. We have to cut some off to hit, you know, usually about 3 inches too long, which is we did on purpose so we would never be short. So we know it's 8 feet and 8 feet around the other side. We do a couple feet each way, so we do about 20 feet. That way we have a little bit left over. We never run out, unlike we did on that last post. That's why we're measuring about 20 feet. It's 23 feet, so it's this much.
How are you guys? Hi, Peachy. Hi, Sunny. Hi, Ginger. Okay, so we're gonna check on Mary's eggs here. She stepped out for a little bit, but she's definitely got her clutch of eggs in there. We're gonna have to mark the other ones that are Easter eggers, and we're gonna take out the one that's not an Easter egger, which is that blue color. Okay, so we're gonna go inside and check on the bread, and then we'll come back and do a little bit more progress on the fence. Are you following me? Are you following me? Huh? So along with the determining factor of what animal that we're gonna be getting, I will say that if you are going to have to supplement their feed, which we are because we grow a lot of weeds as of right now. We do have grass coming in and because of the prep that we've been doing, but it's still not much. So we're definitely gonna have to be supplementing. You have to keep in mind on transportation, like if you're gonna do square bales, how much is that versus the round bales? Are you gonna be able to get the round bales onto your property from wherever you're sourcing them from? So those types of things, that's why we're kind of thinking that goats, if not sheep, are gonna be our first option as far as getting livestock out here. We do not have like trailers to be transporting a bunch of like round bales. So right now with all of the infrastructure and what we have available to source things, the square bales are definitely gonna be an option. So that's what tells us we are not by any stretch of the imagination ready for cows as much as I want that now. We have to do what the property can handle, what financially is gonna be feasible. And so that is a big factor going into deciding what you're gonna get on your property. And a little update on Mama Holly. She is in here in this brooder. She still is doing really well with the roos that we introduced to her. She has taken to all of them so nicely without zero issue, and we just could not be happier. Such a blessing. Aren't you, Mama? Yes, you're a good mama. Are those your babies? Are those your babies? She really has done a fantastic job. We weren't sure if she was gonna like devour the ones that we introduced to her, but she has done really good and we're so proud of her. Okay, so here we are with our second shift for the day. Earlier we did finish up the wrapping of the H braces with the high tensile, and so now we're going back and we are putting up our first run of that woven wire along the back side of our property. With this heat, we have really had to do things in increments. It's not so much the heat as it is the humidity. It just feels like you're in a sauna. So here's the guys going up and securing the first post that we are going to be attaching this whole entire run of fencing to. And to make sure that everything's kind of where it needs to be, we all kind of just took a position along that fence line to hold it up. You don't have to do that. It just kind of helps with the pulling of and the tightening of the fence. So we're there just kind of as like moral support and to kind of encourage things to move along smoothly. And then when they are no longer here, we will be utilizing the boys to help with that task. And I'm going to be honest, I got really teary-eyed several times during this whole process. I am so sentimental and a big, huge fan of passing down skill sets from generation to generation. So for his dad to pass skill sets down to my husband and my brother-in-law, and then for them to be able to continue passing down to my sons is truly just a gift. All right, guys, we are like a few days after where I left off in the video that you guys just watched. We wanted to give you guys an update just to kind of close out the video and show you guys what we're doing and kind of some decisions that we have made since putting up this fence that we will go over as well. So
what we ended up being able to finish was the line across the back, which is about 330 feet. Turned the corner down here and came this way, about 170 feet I think is what it ended up being, and that's where we end up finishing up. We got a few more posts to put in that we hadn't finished, a couple because the holes are a little difficult. We're kind of saving them to the end, but really we're trying to figure out what size gates we're going to put in the front here and where we're going to put the gates before we put those last couple of poles in, so we have it in the right spots for our gate. So what we've decided to do is on about the middle of this fenced in L.
I'll show you here, hang on. Okay, so we did that entire back run that way to that corner, and then we came up here, so it's basically an L, and then we have this stretch that's going to go across here down to where the corral is going to be there. So we've kind of made some changes. We weren't originally going to put a gate along this area here, but since have decided to do a what size?
6 foot.
A 6 foot fence. So show them where you're going to be putting the 6 foot fence.
So off of this corner, we're going to do our H brace, which this is one of those difficult holes I was telling you about. There's a big, huge piece of wood in there that we got to dig out. So we're going to do the corner H brace here, then we're going to do the 6 foot gate, and then we're going to do an H brace on the other side. So we can start to pull fence this direction, and it's got a stable starting point.
Okay. And why did we decide to do the fence there?
The gate?
Right, the gate.
We decided to put the gate here because we have other plans as you go east on the fence down toward that bottom corner. We have other plans around the shed, other future things we want to develop that area, so we didn't want to have to come through there to get to a gate because it may not be accessible by a four-wheeler or a tractor or a lawnmower. We plan on keeping this roadway across the top open, and that's why we came off the line a little bit, so we get around the fence for cleanup and to get to the back of the property. So if we do the 6 foot gate here, it just makes more sense coming up this way. We're not going to develop this part up here at all because we're keeping it a way to get behind the fence. The 6 foot gate here just makes a lot of sense. We can get into the chickens that are going to be free ranging in here once the fence is done, while we decide which animal we're going to put it, which kind of animal we're going to put in here, whether it's goats or sheep, a small dairy cow, mini cow. We just haven't decided. We're kicking all kinds of ideas around. So having the gate here so we can come in and get eggs and get to the chickens, get in here to mow until we decide what kind of animals coming in here, just made the most sense.
Okay, so we were up at that top corner there, and we have come down to this part here. And this part is gonna be a, what, like a corral?
This is 20 feet across. I left that purposely because we're still not quite sure whether we're gonna 12-foot gate or a 16-foot gate. But we know that this straight line right here is how we're going to back in a trailer, get animals to this spot, because it comes straight through the driveway. It just makes driveway, it makes the most sense to get animals to the field based on the topography of the land. It's really lumpy down on that end, so not really ideal for backing a trailer in, but this is perfect through here. What we're going to build here is probably a 20 by 20 by 20 little corral for the animals when they come in, to kind of get acclimated, make sure they're healthy before we let them in to the pasture area, especially if we're going to add new animals at some point. We got to have a place for them to be, to kind of quarantine, or if an animal's sick and we need to quarantine it, that's what this corral is going to be for. It'll have a shade structure over it for the hottest times of the year, raining, things like that. So again, we did this purposefully, left this 20-foot opening. I'm pretty sure we've decided that it's going to be a 12-foot gate. That's what we have at the beginning of our driveway also, and it seems to, anything that needs to get through can. We've had big trucks in here, we have huge RVs in here, don't have any trouble getting through a 12-foot gate. So I think that's the size gate we're gonna do here. I think we're gonna do the gate on the west side, hanging off of this H brace, and then we're gonna put a post here for the other side of the gate. So there'll be 2 gates on this side. We have access around the outside of the perimeter for fence fixing, for mowing, keeping it clean. We did that purposely again, so we'd have access, because we have another 8 acres. I don't know officially how many acres is what, but maybe about 8 10. Or 9, maybe 10 behind the fence that goes way back to the back tree line back there. It has a little bit of a drop off and a back up, and it's grown in from when they clear cut this. So again, all kind of discussions about what we're going to do back there someday, but we need to have access to it. We may eventually even put a big gate on the back side, but we talked about that when we were working on this fence with my dad and brother when they were here, and how easy that would be to put that fence in, that gate in.
At that point, yeah.
We need to live this field for a while to figure out where the best place for the gate would be. We got to make a decision about back there to figure out where the best place for the gate would be. So we're just not ready to make that choice yet.
Which is kind of what we've done with this too. We've kind of lived here and wanted to get like, I don't want to do any permanent fencing without having a feel for how we use the property.
Right.
And that's one thing that they always advise, is to live there before you do a lot of permanent fencing.
Stuff. So we're about almost, well, this December will be 2 years we've been here. So kind of waited 1.5 years to get this started and figure out how we wanted this planned out. But that's where we're at so far. We've got a few more H braces to put in, a few more posts for these gates, and then we can continue to run fence the rest of the way. We've got all the T-posts in. Counting the 2 problem holes that are going to need a little extra TLC, plus the gate poles, we got 5 poles left to put in, and we'll be done. Okay,
so that is the update and kind of the wrapper-upper. We are getting ready to actually go to Yogi, which is where it all began for us with this homesteading journey. Some of you guys may have been following at that point. We didn't have a channel, but you followed us on Instagram. So we're gonna head there, and the boys don't know that we're going, so it's gonna be a surprise. So anyways, we will catch you on the next video. Thank you. Be sure to pound the like button and subscribe if you like this video and want future updates. So we'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you.
Bye.